Yep. Be your best self ever. Align your body, mind, and spirit for success. These are good. Stay high vibe and ready to shine. Focus your intentions and go for it. Stay high vibration and ready to soar. Up your game. Make a difference. You can do it. And of course, step into the miraculous with your host with the mostest, Joan of Angels. And so it is. Hello, everyone. Greetings and welcome to the Desert Heart Sanctuary, where I paint divine beings and I help everyone step into the miraculous in many, many ways, with plant medicine being one of those ways that opens up the door to an expanded awareness and consciousness, but it's not the only way. So one of the ways I love to talk to people about healing, and we're going to talk about the hemp works in a second, but I want everyone to understand something. You have the potential to shift your life into the exact life you have always dreamt of. That ability is yours, and that's what this show is dedicated to. So if you've been on the show before, welcome back, and let us know where you're from. If you have not been on the show, please like, subscribe, share with your people so we can share more of the miraculous with everyone. And I am saying happy 420 to everyone. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that you all know each other. What's up? Yes. Well, what is up is that I have a lot of things I wanted to share with you. One of the things that I feel is so important is that we're living in a crazy time. And normally I don't dwell on that, the crazy times. Yes, that's outside. And we're talking about how do we go inside, whether we're using plant medicine, how we're using that to shift our own personal reality. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. Shifting our own personal reality through the use of plant medicine, through the use of mindfulness, meditation, coming online, coming together. All of these are ways that we use to shift our consciousness. So let's start. We're going to do our deep meditation for a second. And, oh, yes. Okay. Yvonne says, what do you think? He's chopped liver. Why aren't I introducing him again? So Yvonne is the true host. I am his co-host. And we will tell you more about him in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Okay, so settle in. And feel free, by the way, if you are a 420 person, feel very free right now to take out your 420. I can't see it over here. And show it to us. Let's see what you are up to. So where you're from and what are you smoking at 420? I'd love to hear that. That's quite a lively thing. Ha. So Kelly says she's high from Georgia. I kind of like that. That's a play on words. Woo, we're going to have a lively group today. I can feel it. All right. So I always love to start by being centered. Okay. Yes. I'll let you show the whole time. And I just didn't want to knock them over. Wedding cake. I love wedding cake. How interesting. You can let us know what you like about that strain too. And that's our way of beginning to share with each other what we like to smoke, whether you're in Seattle or Palm Springs or across the country in Pennsylvania. I find it really fascinating. Okay. I definitely love knowing this. What do they smoke in Chicago? I don't know. All right. I only know what they do here in my state of California. Because come to think of it, the only other place I actually smoked, the only other state I ever smoked in, it's a funny conversation, was New York, where I was brought up in Boston when I went to college, Massachusetts. So three states, all before it was legal. All right. Okay. Good. So Yvonne is here in the house. And by the way, we've been at the hybrid conference all last week. And the UFO conference, the disclosure conference is coming up. And all of you, when you hear about that, you'll say, Oh, I have a new friend, Avon, and he's a little extraterrestrial. All right, so Canella's into the terpenes. Oh, I haven't had that one. Okay, so I'm going to center again for the umpteenth time. You center. Oh, you know why I couldn't center? I could feel you all smoking, okay? And it was going through my body because I could feel it. All right, good. So take a deep breath in and let it all out. Going down, 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 sending your roots down to the center of the earth so you can literally feel your little toesy poos in that sand, in the dirt, as you're smoking that Jack Herrera. All right, let's do it again. Take a deep breath in and that banana punch. Whoa, and let it all out. Whew. God, I can kind of feel it, guys. So we have a grouping of all of it. I keep hearing the word cacophony of all of these smells. So one more time, we're going to play the bowl. Good. Taking a deep breath in now. Sending those roots down in the center of the earth, your antenna up to the sky. Mother, Father, God, we call for the presence of our angels, our guides, our departed loved ones, the ascended masters, the ascension specialists, the transformational beings, the hybrids, the extraterrestrials, the fairies, the little people, the stone people, the rock people, the plant people, the cloud people, all the sentient beings. And in particular, we call for the presence of the cannabis spirit guides. So lo and behold, we have those cannabis spirit guides with us here today. And I bet they're going to have a lot of messages for us. So, dearest ones, we ask right now, not only are we surrounded and protected, we ask that that which is for the highest good manifest in the next period of time that we are together, that the answers you seek, the camaraderie that you're asking for, that you get that very special feeling that this is the place to be on Wednesdays at 4:20 or 5:20, 6:20, 7:20. My dear friend who's on this, I'm not going to mention her name, once said to me, Joan, it really doesn't matter what time you do it, as long as it's on the 20, because she said it's 4:20 somewhere, right? Even if it's your set, it's 4:20 somewhere, everywhere. So, okay, guys, that's enough of my pontification. We ask today that we really just get some wisdom and knowledge about this thing called consciousness and this thing called using plant medicine to open up the portal so we can feel that energy. So I thought that I would talk a little bit about how I do that because it seems to be of interest. And then I thought I would actually read cards for one or two of you to give you a sense of what those soul awakening sessions are. And in a little bit, I'll tell you about my intuition programs, but I will tell you about them right now, actually. So the intuition program is the Intuitive Ninja Superpower training that I began a year ago doing, although I actually realized from my notes that I first taught that training back in 2005 is when I began to teach it, and I had totally forgotten about it. But why is that important? It's important because energetically, all right, it's just, oh my God, a note came on here and I actually forgot what I was saying because it was important. How to step into your other consciousness is important because, and into your intuition. Phew, I knew I had them merged together, but our intuition is critical, okay? It is our gut. When your gut speaks to you, you ought to take it very seriously because your gut actually is tuned and hooked up to your inner voice, that voice within. So your gut responds to your anxiety, or your gut may respond to its feelings about what's going on. So in these really difficult times, and trust me, we don't even know the half of it. All right. I usually don't talk politics or try to stay away from controversial issues. But guys, I am a chiropractor trained to teach people how to heal your body from the inside out and how to align your body, mind, and spirit to do what you came here to do. And so that is my specialty. And so learning how to listen to the guidance that you are receiving is important because we are being lied to in many ways. If you have any sense of discernment, you will get that it's a little bit, there's a lot going on. Is there really truth going on about the vaccine? Is there truth going on about this epidemic? And that's the last time I'll use that V word. But is there truth going on about the situation we find ourselves in? And what is actually going on? Are they using this energy to shift us into another direction? So, and I'm actually referring to those things called little new things on your wrist to tell people your status, or I'm referring to your status, nowadays. So the key is you need discernment. You need to know where you stand. You need to know how to hear the truth from all those words. Because there is a mass programming that's been going on, but it has been going on, guys, since I guess I've been researching it since the early 1900s, and no, I'm not that old, okay? But as a chiropractor, I came up against what I knew was true about healing the body from inside out, including cannabis, by the way, and I came against that with what the pharmaceutical companies were saying, what mainstream media were saying. And of course, they always seem to be on the side of the big research companies and the pharmaceutical companies and all of their drugs and pills and the American Medical Society. Well, it does turn out that the Rockefeller Foundation in the early 1900s wanted to really take over the control of the medical industry through the pharmaceutical companies. And so they changed the course of wellness. So, of course, they made cannabis illegal, guys, because if they want you to take drugs, and I mean pharmaceutical drugs, then they are not going to want you to take cannabis, which was much more inexpensive in those days and which was prescribed by your medical doctor. All right. They prescribed your medical doctor the cannabis to their patients for pain, for menstrual pain and cramping, for headaches, for all sorts of conditions, stomach ailments. And it's been that way for hundreds of years. So medicine changed in that way. Now, why am I talking it in relationship to intuition? Because it's time to wake up your intuition, and maybe Tina will show us the class now. It's really time to wake up your intuition so you can trust what you are hearing, okay? Also, for those of you who like this idea, you can smell that cannabis and you'll know that it's good for you. You could set up that kind of system with your body that your nose can tell you what's right for you. So intuition comes in lots of forms. And I call it the Ninja Superpower Training because all of you on the show with me today have gifts, okay? There it is. Okay, and we can make that big there so you can see it. And it is called the Superpower Training. And of course, I am the trainer and I take you through what are your skills. Are you clairvoyant? Are you clairaudient, clairsentient? And how do you use these tools? And with that and the book that comes with it, you have a guide to track how accurate your intuition is as you develop your skills. And there's a Facebook group there. And when enough of you are taking our class, I'll be doing lives in there for all of you. So I find it really exciting. And also exciting as my dear friends pop in. So the class is, can you scroll down a bit? The class consists of 7 sessions, and with training and the manual, you can ask me questions at any time in the group. You can take the class over and over and over again, and by the time you're done with it, you will actually, I guess I can't see it either without my glasses. Do you struggle to hear your intuition? I wrote this, I should know this. Do you question what you are hearing? Oh, this was a big one. I asked like 30 people about their intuition. And yes, do you struggle to hear it and then struggle to believe it? Because it contradicts our logical mind. And that therein lies the problem. And it contradicts our friends who are logical, who go, oh my God, how could you do that? And then you go, oh, I heard a voice tell me to do that. And they say, but if you do that. So there is a way to train, a simple formula to tune in and connect and to confirm your accuracy. So I'm making that available. And just finally, I actually did the class a while ago, but I had not let anyone into it. I didn't even tell you about it. And the other good news is that it gives you discounts to my art and my one-on-ones. All right. Thank you so much, Tina. All right. Now, so here I am talking to you as I know you're smoking the most amazing things over there, and I crack you up. Okay, that's good to know. That's because my psychic friend Kay did tell me I should consider being a comedian, kind of like a psychic comedian or something. So I love it. All right. Oh, and I love this. Perfect. Okay, now I looked at all the comments. So, is there anyone from Coachella Valley over there? So we can have a meet and greet in Coachella Valley. And so if you're game, put it in the comments and we're going to set it up, because I think that would be a hoot and a half. And then we could do a show in the middle of our meeting at our consumption lounge, these new hot places here in the Valley. All right. So now I've discussed this concept of discernment, and it's very important. Very important in relationship to cannabis, believe it or not, is because years ago I went to this UFO conference and I found this book. Now, it's really a weird book. You can get it as a PDF for free on the internet. And some of you might be interested. It's a weird book because it's all about the programming that's happened in the past, as I was trying to tell you, the pharmaceutical companies, the programming, the media pushing a lot of pharmaceuticals as opposed to wellness and health. Okay, that's what I mean by the division. Wellness and health. Health comes from within, build your immune system, take cannabis, or on this side, take what we tell you to take, including the vaccine. Okay, so there has been a lot of programming going on. And I came across this book, which actually I keep hidden most of the time, until I took it out a few weeks ago after I did an interview with Victoria. She was here, and I found the book. But what is relevant to the cannabis is that in the book with programming, they're talking about how you hypnotize people. They say that cannabis is specifically forbidden from anyone who's in their programs because it breaks the programming. And so it made me think about, has cannabis, and I want to see your comments, has cannabis shifted maybe the way you think about things, the way you think about your body, the way you think about things that have changed for you? So, for example, many people have discovered that cannabis has tremendous healing benefits for their conditions, and they feel better with it. So that's a different paradigm, breaking a programming that, like those movies, Reefer Madness, that cannabis is bad for you. So we want to look at, how has my thinking changed? So to do that, I just want you to take a deep breath in again, okay? And let it out. If you're smoking, perfect opportunity to take a puff or your tincture. And I say this because as you take that puff, okay, one of the things I love about cannabis, especially in the morning, is I'll have my coffee. See, it has, and help bring on your spiritual awakening. I'll have my cup of coffee in the morning, and maybe I'll pull out my cards. Still going to pull these out. So maybe I'll pull out my cards, and then I'll consume some of my morning cannabis, and I'll consume the kind that causes me to drift a little bit. It's not my workaday, okay? And the kind that will have me drift, and then I may have pulled the card and an answer comes, but I'll find that something brilliant has come to me. I'm telling you, and it's either something that I'm supposed to write about today, or do a video about, or create an artwork about, or talk about today. Okay, so it's kind of very interesting, and it only happens after that happens. So it's like this veil is removed, and my consciousness allows to drift. So some of us, now some people very easily go into an altered state of consciousness, and others, like myself, could always use a little help. Not that I can't, because I can, but having a little help helps. Now, the same is a little true for the other plants, but we're not talking about it so much today. We're really talking about that cannabis. So it's a perfect opportunity to ask yourself, what do my guides want me to do today? If you don't have a full agenda. Or you can ask yourself, what is it that I need to know? And you will be surprised that when you open up that door, the answers that you will receive, all right? They will come through loud and clear. And that's what I'm asking now. What kinds of answers are coming through for you now as we're beginning to talk? Because that's the opening up of your awareness. That's paying attention to what does really happen for me. Now, there are those who think maybe that's a bad thing to use cannabis to open up your consciousness. I happen to think it's a miracle. And that is one of the reasons why I advocated for a spiritual life, or for your body for healing. Because there's no known side effects. Yes, you could have anxiety, but we know that that's because you took the wrong kind at the wrong time. Or you can be sleepy, or you could get the munchies, okay? The munchies. And so we know all about those munchies, and that happens too. All right. Yes. And I've also explained to you that it's a way of breaking programming. So, if you're confused right now about what is going on out in the world, in the news, if you read the news, I don't, but somehow it interferes with my life anyway. But if you have concerns about people, places, or things out in the world, what might be happening, why, this thing, or thing in your arm, or the censorship that's going on, use your discernment and understand I just gave you a key. The cannabis will break programming. You can use it to help you, the truth be revealed for yourself. So you can even ask to have the truth be revealed. Should I take the vaccine? Should I not? What do I need to do to take care of myself? Oh, I said the word again. Okay. I'm going to take a break. Truth be revealed. I'm going to bring my co-host on, Yvonne. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't expect him to talk, but actually he did. Life-changing message. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I have avoided really being blunt and upfront about my point of view about all of this. I'm appalled. I'm beyond shocked. And I'm going to just tell you that there are ways you can heal your own body. Cannabis is one of them. Do you know I have read research that THC and CBD, CBN all reduce the effect of that particular virus on your body? All right? And I have also, I take quinine. I love quinine. It's grapefruit juice. Go online and look, how do I use grapefruit juice? In fact, I'll do a video. I saw one the other day. I thought I can do a video on this. but there's lots of things you can do, my friends. Okay. But again, it's more what you're called to do. You know, what you're called to do is really your guide. What the messages that you receive, that is the answer for you. Okay? I promise you, it's really the answer. Okay, so we're going to start by pulling a card overall. Yvonne wants you also to know, this is Yvonne, that you actually, all of you on here, have the seeds of the extraterrestrial in you. You're either hybrids or part ET. And cannabis was a plant that was sent down to our planet via the extraterrestrials. The seeds are here. That's why it grows wild, like a weed. I mean, I think it even grows in the Himalayas, because I have read that they use cannabis in sacred ceremonies in Tibet for thousands and thousands of years. So we were lied to about that. So once they lied to you about that, and then, of course, I've been in the UFO field for 20 years. Once you get that they lied to us about that and went after people, and then they lied to us a lot about pharmaceutical drugs and their effect on us and medicine, well, then it's just a logical thing. And Yvonne says to use your discernment. You all have a discernment chip in your brain, and use it. Ask to be shown. Again, show me the truth. All right, so I'm going to pull a card. This is a card for all of us to set the tone. Set the tone. Phone home. The consciousness with cannabis, he's telling me, actually puts you in that altered state, puts you in that altered dimension. And you see the wings behind me, that they're like a little sketch. He says, in a sense, those interdimensional fractals are like flying through something that might even look like a sketch of lines and angles and shapes and figures. And that this thing, as we shift into our other dimensions, we can see more with our inner sight, and we see things broken down to their component beings. So the card that I pulled out, and if you have any questions, ask me all about it. Blessings from the son of Hanapacha. So I have never seen this card before. This is from the Earth Warriors Oracle deck. I feel that this is a truth-seeking deck. This deck is aligned with indigenous medicine, indigenous wisdom, the wisdom of the Pachamama, the ayahuascans, the jungle, the forest, and all the ancestors. And so we're invoking the wisdom of the ancestors. So before I even tell you about the card, go ahead, enjoy yourself, okay? All right, let's see if there's any comments here. So are you feeling a little bit different inside? And looking for your comments. I am an in-house teacher, meaning actually I prefer groups where I see everyone and we're all participating. That's my fun kind of thing. So yeah, what's going on for you now? Are you noticing an awakening or an awareness that's going on? Because that is this consciousness of why I started 420 Spiritual Living, so your truth can be revealed. Okay? Beautiful. All right. So, blessings from the sun. Despite great odds. Oh my goodness. So, my question wasn't about the future for all of us, but in a sense, because I brought up things that I'm concerned about, then the message, the card, actually confirms this. So the card itself, trying to keep Yvonne in here, and the card itself is all about, it says, despite great odds, even in the face of what may appear to be an inevitable defeat, extraordinary triumph is at hand. So there's a lot of protests going on about the new rules, and it does look overwhelming, but there is a sense that there's going to be a resurrection, an extraordinary triumph, a rising up of what was thought to be lost. It shall happen with unexpected and surprising swiftness. Oh my God, guys, breathe this in. Your destiny is now in the guiding hands of a great spiritual master. So, guys, actually, when I do readings for people, we like to look at what is our destiny and what's in the future for us. So I would like to offer, and I do readings for people. It's one of my favorite things to do. I am one of those intuitives, and I assume that everyone else around me was an intuitive because, it was so easy for me to do it. And I just naturally could feel other people's feelings. But when I took a deep dive into what intuition is and how often I hear the voice of the divine, then I will give Hugo his reading. So Hugo, I want you to put down your year and date of birth, but I'm also going to start without it. But I'll have Tina put it up there as well. And give me a moment. Stare into the eyes of Yvonne. Okay. Yvonne tells me, actually, that you are a very structured being. And that's kind of interesting. He showed me that you had like 2 feet planted firmly on the ground. But sometimes it feels like your feet are trapped in mud, kind of like, even worse, quicksand. So it's almost like this is your conundrum, that the more you move, the kind of deeper stuck you may be feeling. Is this accurate, Hugo? Is this something that is going on for you? Yes, no, or maybe? Yes, yes. Because your world is about grounding. And that's one of the things, your mission in this life is to learn how to create a structure, how to create a foundation without feeling trapped and stuck in the mud. Okay. So we're going to pull a card and see what that card holds for you. Okay. And this is from the Destiny deck. All right. Okay. So you're also in an 8 year. And because you're in you're in a 9 year. You're in an 18 year, which adds up to 9. 9 is spiritual mastery. So this year is going to be very different for you. Different for you in the sense that you're going to be asked to let go of everything that doesn't serve you and do it with grace and ease. So a spiritual year, a 9 spiritual mastery year, means that you get harder lessons than you were counting on. Okay? So if you thought this next year is going to be a piece of cake, it won't be. It'll be a spiritually growing year. And if you're lucky, you'll be right on my shows and we'll work with you through it. But letting go of that which no longer serves is going to be very, very important for you. So what do I mean? People, places, and things. It'll happen naturally, organically. You might fight with someone. Don't run after them because you're in the middle of learning how to raise your vibration in the midst of the storm. And I hope that makes sense. It's like learning how, if you ever hop on my Miracle Mondays, I talk about creating a tower of miracle power. I talk about having this light go through you and to the top, and okay, well, so letting go of everything, and yet you engaging in your spiritual awakening so that you become lighter than ever, so that you don't go into the heaviness, the sorrow, the anger, any of that. But in letting go, you look at what was the purpose and the lesson here. And I want to honor you for saying your truth. Because, guys, I know I bring in speakers and stuff, but I also had a feeling of making this such a heart-based program. Because cannabis is so heart-based, and it's that. So letting go with grace and ease, looking at your partner and realizing all the lessons that you learned, and thanking him or her for those lessons, for the wisdom that they taught you, both the good and the harder, the obstacles. So turn that around, and that's the quality of the year for everything for you, okay? Everything is going to demand that scrutiny. But again, the card that came up overall for everyone was that we're going to have that it may look like all is lost and challenging, but in the end, the win is going to come, and your spiritual awakening will continue. So I hope that helps, and let's look for some feedback, but I hope that helps. You go. Okay? Let me see if I can read this. I opened up the screen. Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about that, right? I couldn't get through without it either. Hugo, so just let me know how that sat with you. Good. If you want further information, you can go on my site. I do 15-minute readings. I do soul awakening sessions. I love that. So let's go back to that last question for a moment and put that up on the screen. I want to talk about it. And guys, are you enjoying this? Because I'm really speaking my truth as to the best of my ability today. And so I want to say this. Number one, many of you, and this will resonate, many of you are different and feel different than other people, okay? And that's because if you had a chance to see your soul, you would know that you came here for a reason. You came down here with a group of other souls that's whole mission was to help planet Earth evolve to what Hugo's referring to as a spiritual awakening. Too many people refer to the ascension, okay? That's why they sent us cannabis, to help us on that journey, okay? So now, if we came down here to do that work, then guess what? These are the times that we've been called for, okay? These are the times that we've been called for. And I will say this again, and I'll answer that question in a minute. That's a very brilliant question over there. A little bug flying around. These are the times that we are called for. And I repeat it over and over again because rather than get trapped in the 3D world, it's a good thing to take your cannabis and get yourself into the other dimensional realms, the fifth dimensional realms, fourth and fifth dimensional realms, preferably up to the fifth. So then you can sit on the mountaintop and you can look at all those crazy humans down here in the United States of America and in the globe and in the world as star seeds, yes, and you would get the big picture. You would know a lot more if you were sitting on the mountaintop. And I have a secret way that I teach all my clients. I'm going to teach you. I sit up on that mountaintop and I look down and I see the road, and then I see road jams, roadblocks. All of you stuck, people are stuck on those road jams. What's a road jam? When a broken record is playing in your head. Should I or shouldn't I? Or you're stuck. You don't know what to do. The pain is too much, the anxiety. You're going round and round and round and round in circles. So if we sat on the mountaintop and we wait down there, okay, and we look down, then you get to see all those roadblocks. And what if your job was to help actually unclutter those roadblocks for people or for yourself or your family? Because you came down here for a purpose, and the purpose is now. So today, when I was meditating about the show, and I have been very careful to really not go off on other tangents about what's going on outside my home. But today, I don't understand exactly what happened, but I had that download. And the download began by talking about this book, okay? This book, Deeper Insights into the Illuminati Formula, okay? And in that book, I got the download, was tell them about the cannabis, how cannabis is forbidden from people under deep hypnosis, right? And then I still said, well, I don't know if I could talk about it. I had no idea what I really talked about. But you know what I'm really getting? I spent a lot of time at the beginning of the show talking about the pharmaceutical industry. And I didn't mention the business plan is very clear, repeat business. If they gave you things that worked and that had no side effect, they would not make their $1 billion, bottom line and please their shareholders. So everything you take from the doctor who is trained to give you the right medicine, if you notice, has a side effect, okay? And every side effect, you need to take something else. The older you get, I go to the doctor, guys, and my doctor, my nurse looks at me and says, well, how do you have such good skin? How do you function? And it's because I don't take vaccines and I don't take pharmaceutical drugs unless I have somehow had to, like for my teeth. Rips up my system, okay? But I know this, and I have a cabinet full of herbs and tinctures. So the first place I want you to start is with cannabis, guys. Use it to get better. Use it medicinally and spiritually. That's why I call it a miracle for your body and your soul, okay? Well, how do we use cannabis hemp to get to the fifth dimension? You are so filled with great questions. Going back to objective reality, okay, what is truth? So many people believe that what they read in, say, mainstream media is truth. Well, I've seen many, many contradictions where they put up their truth, and then maybe the herbalist and the other doctors may put up their truth, and the third puts it up here, and then they take it down, okay? What is truth? At this point, truth has been distorted to the worst place it could be. And if you're like me, you really have to discern who's right, who's wrong, and where to trust. And you have to go with your inner gut. I use a pendulum often. This is a dowsing pendulum, and I use it for yes and no answers. So, okay, so now getting to the rest of that question, all right? I'm kind of getting lost when I'm doing my questions. All right. So I didn't set out to talk about it today, but my guide said we have to. We have to because when you take your medicine, your plant medicine, you set your intention. You're either using your plant medicine for fun. Okay, yes, of course people use it for fun and social. I'd be silly not to think. I mean, everyone started it for fun and social. Back in the 70s and 80s, they weren't using it because, oh yes, I've heard that it's going to get me to the new dimension and it's going to heal my body. It's like, I want to get high because I want to get high. So I understand that. I started there too. Cannabis to get to the fifth dimension. Cannabis to get through the MSM baloney or the lies is by, as I said, using your discernment. And I have a whole section devoted to discernment in that class that I'm talking about. So that is one of the ways. But now when you smoke, set your intention. So if I want to get to the fifth dimension, I'm not going to use the kind of cannabis that has me wanting to go hike or has me in the couch where I can't move and my brain gets foggy, okay? Because some of that stuff gets my brain relaxed, but not in that state, okay? But the state I'm looking for is the state that I do in the morning when I have my coffee and I go into meditation, right? And that is a very meditative time. I don't talk to anyone in the morning. I may play some nice music, and I literally take time to pull out my cards, smoke some of my favorite cannabis that will get me to that place. And I don't have it all written down to tell you those strains. In fact, if anyone wants to go research it and put it up for the next time, I'd be really happy to bring you on to talk about it. But most likely it'll be a hybrid of some kind. And you ask as you breathe, okay, dearest angels, God, I'm asking to be able to drop my logical mind and to be able to go through that portal to the next dimension. And then you can smoke, and then you can pull a card for yourself. So the kind of card that I would pull, and I have many, many decks, but for instance, and now everything is coming true. So, I get a download before the show, and they even told me what decks to bring to the show. Crazy, right? Well, the deck they told me was the Shapeshifter deck. Not so crazy, huh? Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this and you're getting something from this, because I am. All right. So, all right, we have a lot to download on the comments over there. I'm going to have to go back and take it up either later or at a different time. So the evil cabal, your son telling you about, yeah. So there are people who, I'm trying to understand how to present this to you. Many people now are brainwashed. They've been brainwashed over and over and over again by hearing the same thing on the media. If you notice that at 4 a.m, they get the same talking points, and we hear it over and over and over again. And they'll push everything, push the V, push the anti stuff, push whatever, over and over and over and over again, to the point that people who once were and then they're pushing the food that is GMOs, chemicalized, and the vaccines. Okay, so what's gone in people's head the last 18 months is all of that programming personified. Terror. And those people stepped into terror. And so they're actually, oh my God, it's a terrible image. They're like it's like they're in a tank of thousands of people, and they're just living off this evil news. So we have that going on. Now, when we step into the other dimension, we can do just like I explained. You sit up here on the mountaintop. You imagine yourself going through a stairway, a gateway, a beautiful mountain range to get up there. So that when you're there, you can look out there with peace and ask, what are the lessons those humans are learning? Those people, disassociate yourself from that. So you can be over here and you can go, how can I help? Well, one of the ways we can help, and I think next week on Miracle Monday, I'm going to talk about it. We can help by sitting on that mountaintop, being in a calm place and sending healing. Cannabis helps with that. Cannabis will also help you ask, what is it we are learning globally as a planet? Because when you sit with the spirit guides and you have put yourself into that position, you can access those questions. Now, those are not the scientific answers. Those are the intuitive, other consciousness answers. And the questions are going to always be, what is the right answer? So the right answer, according to Joan, who is never an arbitrator of truth for you, but the right answer for me is does it make my heart sing? does this person, place, or thing resonate with me in such a way that it makes me a better person, helps me lift myself and others. So, I went through a bad period when the epidemic hit. I just didn't know what to do. I stopped working. No money came in. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I started to go down like this, okay? So bad that one of my clients called me and said, Joan, what's wrong? My friend just saw you and you look like H-E blank blank. So that was very discouraging. So I stopped for a bit and I went inside. And yes, I did use my spiritual cannabis, sat on the mountaintop and said, what's the answers? And I heard loud and clear, well, Joan, you are the only Joan of Angels on the planet. No small things be Joan of Angels. Did we send you down here to go like this and to sink below the center of the earth? Or did we send you down here to do your work, to uplift those who you came here to uplift, whether it's one person, one ET, or a million? But what is it that will help uplift you to do that? And literally, it was if Source had picked me up by my bootstraps, by my back of my neck, like a hook, picked me up, shook me out like a rag doll, and said, either you claim who you are or you will lose it. And it was kind of like, you don't think there's other people who want to be Joan of Angels? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? There's other people who will do this. And we just put out the call. You said yes, but you're not the only one. So that's what my message is for you today. My message is for you is that this is the time, no matter how it looks. Okay? Maybe it looks to you like we're on the beginning of a beautiful brand new day. Maybe everything I say to you is not resonating. But it's up to what you're feeling inside. How does it resonate for you? And what is your truth? Not anyone else's truth. So even if someone is saying to you or shaming you to say, take that, and you say no, and their biggest thing is, well, you're going to hurt me, you're destroying everyone else, you are a bad person. If you are certain in your own certainty, okay, and that's what it's going to take. It's going to actually take each one of us now to stand in our own power and to know that truth. And I will say again, many of these truths I have learned through my experiences with cannabis. That happens to be when I'm most brilliant. Okay? Now, I don't smoke cannabis before the shows, though, because then I would completely lose track of where I am. And I'd have to have all of you tell me what I'm talking about. So, do you have any questions about what I've said? I'm going to pull from the Shapeshifter deck. Because remember, my first question to all of you is, how has cannabis, smoking or using cannabis, changed you or changed your consciousness? How have you used it in a way that you're noticing, and maybe you never thought of it, okay, until now. Maybe you just happened 420 because it's a chance to get, quote, high with a group of fun people. Or fun Joan, who thinks she's an angel, I don't know. Joan and her extraterrestrial. So I started this program so I can have feedback. So I can be sitting with you guys and really understanding. And you can understand how blessed we are that we have been given cannabis to allow us to get out of that programming. And that was the epiphany I had in the middle of the show when I talked to you about the pharmaceutical model along with the programming model. And then I'm talking to you about using cannabis, using your intuition to unprogram it. Okay? So now, that's a great question. Can a man go eat? Can a man go eat? What a great title. So the question is, or the answer to that, which seems to be your life purpose question, is yes. Yes, you can have that which you are seeking. It's not a mystery. The mystery is that, are you allowing your consciousness to be expansive in the sense so that it's not limited? And science and truth is limiting. So when we read what looks like science and truth, and I know this is counterindicated too, there's things that might be black and white, but even the black and white is constantly shifting. So I could tell you that the purpose of your life is to live those visions that are inside of you, okay? To live that which is motivating you, and to expand it and express it into this planet. It's to not hold back. And it's not to make fun of it either. It's to take it really seriously. We're given an opportunity right now. The opportunity is what is going on and has been going on for the last year and a half and could even continue into the next year and a half. We now don't know. There is certain uncertainty. Okay? And Hannah, you're so right, because this profound insight is where I learned everything I know. I'm wondering if that's true. It's not quite true, because I used to be very profoundly insightful before I ever came in touch with cannabis. But it has helped me in many years. Okay. We've been in a period of darkness. And there will be a certain amount of darkness versus light on the planet. We are in a period of what I call spiritual warfare, dark versus light. So, and it's been very pronounced. So, working with things like our chakras and our energy field and raising our light is how we can do this. So, yes, cannabis can help. 420 magic can help with your chakras. I have seen pictures and heard people talking about, especially on shrooms, being able to literally see the energy of the chakras and see how they're swirling and set them right. So yes, all kinds of healing can happen, and we can start that healing right now. I decided I was going to have a good time today and do all the things I like. So rub your hands together, and I love that, Debbie. Yes, and it will move. It allows you to move around easier again, which then allows us to connect to our intuition again and to do our soul mission. But the goal is, what can I do to allow my body, mind, and spirit to align so I could do whatever it is I came here to do? Okay? Make sense? Make sense. There's so many comments. I love it. All right. I love this. I can sometimes read people's minds. It freaks my mom and sister out. So when I talk about superpowers, and actually when I talk about extraterrestrials, they go hand in hand. It's known, and even the government knows this and has reported on, that people who have had extraterrestrial experiences, either as a contactee or an abductee, and maybe even seeing a ship in the universe, they are more intuitive and more psychic. They actually have greater compassion, greater empathy, greater clairvoyance, clairsentience, healing, etc. I have known people that can pass energy, light energy, from one hand to another. That comes from those gifts. So you are blessed to have that gift, and you'd be perfect candidate to work with me on that, because it's about training yourself to be able to do that. And the question for you is going to be, does cannabis help you do that even more? And how can you access that information and trust it? And if it freaks your mom and sister out, you don't have to necessarily tell them. This is a super ninja power that you have, and I'm happy to see that. And it's no coincidence your name has the name Angel in it, by the way, just mentioning it. So many of us are interdimensional beings or angelic beings in our 3D bodies. We have to remember that. Well, okay, I've had like the most fun, and time has literally flew by. So I'm very, very grateful that you've all been here with me. I want to remind you that I want to share this little video again that I did with the HempWorks. Why? Because I've been using HempWorks. That's one of the products I've been using that have been helping me. And in sharing that with you, Tina, maybe you can play that video or show the website. Okay, great. So the other day, one of my friends was here, and you have to scroll it a little bit, honey. One of my friends was at the house, and I had that CBD cream for her. Up now we're on the Intuitive Ninja Superpower. Let's see if we could go to the CBD stuff also. So this is what we're offering. Our 7 classes to awaken your intuitive ninja. You will definitely love it. Tina's been in that class, and maybe a few others over here too. All right. Thank you very much. Yes. So beautiful. Okay. We're going to take that away for now. Okay, guys. I feel a little clumsy. So I want to thank you all for being with me. I want to remind you to, if you're new to me, to like my channel, Joan of Angels on YouTube, my Facebook page, go to my website, Joan of Angels, so you can engage with me, so we can help grow the channel, so that we can do more of what we're doing. The energy in the groups grows as we have people who are fascinated, interested, and really want to grow. So I will see you next week. I'm going to leave you a little bit with this. We do have a special going on, that which has been $150 a bottle, because it's 1,500 milligrams of the CBD, is on sale for $90 each. And that is actually why I created my video. Focus your intentions and go for it. CBD does help you do that. Stay high vibration and ready to soar and up your game. You can make a difference. You can do it. And then, of course, you can step into the miraculous with Joan of Angels and each and every one of us. So that's it for this week. I'll see you all next week. Thank you for being part of my tribe, and I'm so grateful for you in my life. And smoke on, babies, okay? And bring it on. Yeah, happy 420.